Tonight, we'll take a deep dive into the FDA's plans for the future of booster shots.
Plus, Biden's big announcement for students and how this is impacting the future of student loans.
Also ahead, an email sent to the students urging everyone to mask up, how Oswego County is faring with COVID cases.
WTOP 10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening, and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News. I'm Jose Ramirez.
And I'm Melanie Higgins.
An email sent to students tonight is now urging everyone to mask up as COVID cases in our area continue to rise. With nearly 200 at-home COVID cases reported over the past week, 3 counties in central New York are carrying some of the highest transmission rates across the state.
That's right. In Onondaga County, Cayuga County, and right here in Oswego County, all part of the list, they have high transmission rates for COVID, and it's steadily increasing, being marked as high risk by the CDC. Experts have noted, that a new Omicron strand is striking communities called BA2, but they say the risk only lies on those unvaccinated, continuing their push to get people to be vaccinated.
The U.S. Centers for Disease and Control Prevention is under scrutiny after the announcement of a bipartisan plan for COVID-19 relief. Amy Kiley reports.
The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention is used to scrutinizing science. Now the agency itself is under the microscope. Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says the Department of Health will conduct a sweeping review starting next Monday. In a memo to staff, Walensky says it's to improve how the agency communicates with the public and consider a restructuring. That news comes the same day as a bipartisan deal Senator Mitt Romney helped negotiate for his chamber. It's for $10 billion of COVID relief money. The measure would fund therapeutics like oral antiviral pills, and it would support vaccines, testing, and research. What it would not do is send money directly to the CDC. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says he wants to vote on the measure this week.
On COVID, very briefly, over the last few days, my Democratic colleagues and I continued talks with Senator Romney and Republicans, working all hours of the night and into the weekend.
This is clearly a huge focus for the president because of the dire need we have at this moment to get this funding through.
The White House says it would like more money in the plan.
Even as we're very encouraged by the progress, we're going to need more because our objective here is to make sure we can have funding for antivirals, the vaccines needed for people for many months to come.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
And as COVID funding continues to be pushed, nurses at Rochester General Hospital are now planning to unionize, hoping for better pay, staffing, and consistent retention. However, the hospital released a statement saying, quote, "We strongly believe that a union is not in the best interest of our employees, our patients, or the communities we serve," end quote. The group hasn't filed for an election to legitimize the union effort, but are working to gain more support before then.
With COVID still surging in numerous communities and booster eligibility expanding in New York for those looking to get their second shot, there's a lot of confusion surrounding the future of vaccines. Just last week, the FDA expanded the emergency use authorization of 2 vaccines so people 50 years and older can get a second booster shot as early as 4 months after their first one. There have been also questions about variant specific boosters and whether COVID-19 vaccine will become an annual shot. All of these questions will be on the table at Wednesday's meeting.
As Governor Kathy Hochul delivers remarks at the Court of Appeals, she recognizes the need for diversity in the government, both federally and statewide. She also mentions the struggles that Supreme Court nominee Ketanji Brown Jackson is going through, saying that it should be an automatic ascension with full support of the Senate. She also mentions the hatred that the nominee is experiencing.
It's really hard to see what she's going through and to see what the hatred that is coming her way and how she has to sit there and endure it.
With her colleagues, Hochul says she hopes women like Ketanji will serve as a role model for future generations of little girls from all over.
Justice Stephen K. Lindley of New York's 4th Appellate Department in Rochester has issued a temporary stay for the state's new electoral map after state Democratic leaders contested a lower court's opinion that the maps were unconstitutional. While he did not address the merits of the case, Justice Lindley indicated that he hoped to expedite his own ruling on whether or not the lines were constitutional.
On Sunday morning, right here, Fulton man Derek Wynn has arrested 3 separate times on multiple charges, including aggravated unlicensed operator in the 3rd degree, operating vehicles without insurance, and unsuspected motor vehicle back in March. Wynn was arrested for speeding in a school zone and leading the police in pursuit while operating a stolen vehicle on each occasion. Wynn was released per New York State bail reform as his charges did not fit the requirements for bail or arraignment. Bail reform is on the topic of the state budgets at the current moment.
Over in Erie, Pennsylvania, a school shooting left 1 person injured today, according to authorities. Erie Public Schools say multiple gunshots went off Erie High School shortly after 9 a.m. 1 student was shot. They are in stable condition. Police have identified the suspect as a student at the school. They are still searching for them as of now. Classes are canceled for the rest of the week.
And meanwhile, 2 arrests have been made in connection to the deadly shooting in Sacramento this past weekend, in which left 6 people dead, 12 more injured. Police have made an arrest on Dondre Martin, who appeared in court today. Over 100 video files have been uploaded by the public to the tip portal. And as of now, police say that the shooting started because of a fight with multiple shooters. This has been the 2nd mass shooting in Sacramento in the past 5 weeks.
The Biden administration plans to freeze federal student loan payments through the end of August, extending a moratorium that has allowed millions of Americans to postpone payments during the coronavirus pandemic. Student loans were originally scheduled to resume in May after being halted since early in the pandemic in the spring of 2020. The action applies to more than 43 million Americans who owe a combined $1.6 trillion in student debt held by the federal government.
Also being signed by Joe Biden, a new executive order to expand the coverage under the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare. The executive order closes a loophole that prevents millions of Americans from qualifying for subsidiaries family glitch, which blocked people who receive health care through a family member's work from being eligible for premium assistance on the Affordable Care Act market. Biden was joined by former President Barack Obama, who celebrated that achievement.
But what the Affordable Care Act shows is that you are driven by the core idea that together we can improve the lives of this generation and the next. And if you're persistent, if you stay with it and are willing to work through the obstacles and the criticism and continually improve where you fall short, you can make America better.
This executive order builds on those he signed last year.
The Biden administration is slated to announce more sanctions targeting Russian financial institutions as well as officials within the Kremlin and their families. The measures are taken in lockstep with European Union and G7, will also ban investment in Russia and Russian-owned enterprises. The sweeping measures follow global outrage over mounting evidence of war crimes committed by the Russian armed forces in Ukraine.
And video from parts of Ukraine is graphic and disturbing, but take a look of Ukraine's president pleas for the world to not lock away, urging the UN to do more. Isabel Rosales is reporting on this direct talk as Russia shifts its focus to eastern Ukraine, but again, viewer discretion is advised.
A sobering and graphic account of alleged atrocities at the hands of Russian soldiers.
They killed entire families, adults and children, and they tried to burn the bodies.
Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky demanding accountability, telling world leaders Russia's actions are no different than a terror group.
The most terrible war crimes of all times we see since the end of World War II.
One big distinction, he says, Russia is a permanent member of the UN Security Council.
Where is the security that the Security Council needs to guarantee? It's not there.
His address comes just one day after visiting mass graves in Bucha, a massacre exposed for the world to see. A growing number of leaders, including President Biden, want Russian President Vladimir Putin on trial for war crimes.
It's a deliberate campaign to kill, to torture, to rape, to commit atrocities.
NATO is now gathering evidence to prove it, according to the alliance's U.S. ambassador. Yet the Kremlin is doubling down, calling the massacre fake. But mass graves and bodies can even be seen from space via satellite imagery. On the front lines, the violence is nonstop. Terrifying moments as a CNN crew comes under artillery fire outside Mykolaiv.
Down here, John, down here.
Danger Ukrainians face every day. I'm Isabel Rosales reporting.
Now, according to Ukrainian sources, up to 7,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed as of yesterday, even as the Russian army withdraws from the north.
Coming up later tonight, we'll break down Elon Musk's new affiliation with Twitter after being named the biggest shareholder just yesterday.
Plus, how sleeping early could lead to weight gain, according to a new report.
Well, changing gears to weather now, meteorologist David Rienzo joins us. David, it was quite warm today, but is it going to stay that way or leave us?
Yeah, fortunately today was really nice. You're beginning to feel that spring weather. Tomorrow will be really nice for Quest Day. So anyone going out on Quest tomorrow, have fun. Sounds like fun, all the adventures you're going to have. Tomorrow, you can expect to see rain moving in as the night progresses into Thursday and into parts of Friday. Stick around after the full forecast, or stick around after the break for my full forecast.
Athletics. Aaron, there are 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups.
For half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Hey, welcome back. I'm meteorologist David Rienzo. Let's take a look at your satellite image. You can see the clouds covering most of New York State, except for this little patch downstate. You can see these clouds and around central New York, which we can look at, is this band of rain over Ontario County and Cortland County. You can see that Oswego does not have much going on for now. Looking into tonight, clouds rolling in as the night progresses. You can still expect to see those warm 43-degree temperatures, but there will be some slight wind chill as you can see, this southeast wind progresses. Going into tomorrow, I found out that Quest Day is not actually for going on quests, it's for giving presentations. So that's kind of boring. However, temperatures will still be nice. If you do want to go questing, 56 degrees and mostly cloudy. So while it will be kind of warm, you won't have to use sunscreen. Taking a closer look at Wednesday, pretty consistent cloud coverages and temperatures with high 40 and mid 50s. You can also expect to see constant wind speed from east-southeast in the teens. After 7 p.m. is when you can expect to see clouds and chance of rain increasing. It should start around 8 p.m. Wednesday and continue into Thursday, with the peak being around 10 to 2. Luckily, you can just expect to see rain, no snow for the forecast. Going into the 7-day, as I mentioned, Wednesday is going to be pretty nice, but Thursday and Friday you'll be seeing some rain. Saturday and Sunday will be overcast with 50% chance of rain on Saturday and overcast on Sunday. Monday and Tuesday you can see some high temperatures in the high 50s. Yeah, but that's it. So I'm going to throw it back to the desk for Pet of the Week.
Thank you so much for that report.
Now it's time for the cutest story of the night, the Pet of the Week, provided by our friends at the Oswego Humane Society.
And it's a cute one. Meet Macaroni. Pleasant and plump she is, Macaroni is only here to have a good time. Now she does have advanced arthritis in her hip joints, the poor girl her, but her enthusiasm for life hasn't dampened not one bit. Now despite the setback, the little lady loves toys and to play. For more information, or if you want to meet the sweet girl herself, you can contact info@oswegohumane.org. When we return from break, we'll have your Consumer Watch.
This job looks perfect. It says you need a high school diploma. You've got one of those, right?
Skip the drama. Get your diploma.
I got that.
Find free adult education classes at finishyourdiploma.org.
Major Discussions is the new show that explores the stories of students right here on campus. I personally came here to SUNY Oswego for the broadcasting program because I love to hear people's stories and to do work just like this.
Welcome back to WTOP 10 Nightly News. Let's get into our Consumer Watch. Elon Musk will join Twitter's board of directors after taking a 9.2% stake from the company. Twitter shares rose about 2% after the company's CEO, Parag Agrawal, shared the news. Former chief Jack Dorsey also praised the move, saying, quote, "I've wanted Elon on the board for a long time," end quote. Elon Musk later teased that he would push for adjustments to the product. Though Musk's stake is considered a passive interest, some investors expect Musk to take an aggressive stance in the company.
And grocery delivery service Instacart is reworking tipping in order to adjust the effects on its workers of a practice known as tip baiting, where a customer zero out a tip after an order has already been delivered. Now they say it will cover the cost of a shopper's tip up to $10 should a customer remove the tip after delivery without reporting their issue with their order. This update is the latest measure Instacart has announced in recent years.
A new study is finding a link between unhealthy abdominal fat and the amount in which you sleep at night. Mandy Gaither has more on its findings in today's Health Minute. The researchers say they want to further study what may cause fat when there's sleep loss, like if those with pre-existing conditions are at a higher risk of weight gain.
Now coming up in sports, we have Hunter Truman.
Hunter, can you give us a quick preview?
I certainly can. 3 teams from Oswego took the field earlier today. I'll let you know how they did. And let me tell you, they did pretty well, some of them. But we'll also talk about the men's basketball national championship that took place last night. Believe me, it was a great one. Highlights when we come back on WTOP Nightly News.
We've been marinating chicken in all sorts of liquids for 24 hours. These are vitamins and minerals and things that you need, nutrients. The chicken speedy is a staple of our culture.
Of all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP 10 Nightly News.
For the governor race with a strong lead, former Governor Andrew Cuomo is...
Barlow announced the completion of a large building mural in downtown Oswego.
The renovations on the Hewitt Union Building, turning it into the new Hewitt Hall.
And as we move into tomorrow, that rain is going to be in our area.
Moving to the Diamond now, as Sweet Caroline got a lot sweeter last night.
Welcome back to WTOP Nightly News. I'm Hunter Truman with your Tuesday Sports Report. Starting with men's lacrosse, the Lakers hosted the Bears of Potsdam today. The Lakers got rolling quickly, taking a commanding 9-3 lead into the second quarter, making this one seem out of reach quickly. Though, the Bears made a fierce comeback, scoring 9 and shutting out the Lakers in the third quarter, making the game 17-12, heading into the fourth. Though, Oswego wouldn't stay quiet for long as they came back to life, scoring 5 and allowing 6 to float to the 22-18 victory. The Lakers got big contributions from both Corey O'Connor and Liam Sexton, who combined for 8 goals in the win, moving the team's record to 7-2. Moving to the Diamond, the Lakers softball team headed to Clinton to play Hamilton College in a doubleheader earlier. The first game was an offensive performance, especially on the Continental's end, with 4 runs being scored in the first inning. Oswego made multiple attempts to mount a comeback throughout the game, including a 2-run 7th. However, this wouldn't be enough as Hamilton walks away with the first win 9-7. Game 2 was a different story with defense taking center stage though. Well into the 4th inning when the Lakers put up 3 runs, it was capped off by a Taylor DuBois home run. Oswego would keep their defense going, holding on to the victory 3-1, splitting the doubleheader and moving to 15-2. Of course, if you can't win both, you might as well go 1-1, and that's what the softball team did today. So now we head on to the larger diamond. The Oswego baseball team made their way to Rochester. This game is was currently in progress with a score of 8-4. However, that has just gone final, staying at the score of 8-4. Rochester rode their momentum since the first inning with 4 runs scored, thanks in part to a 3-run shot by Jacob Matzat in the first. The Lakers are currently ranked 16 in the country for Division III. Though this loss could drop them significantly, we'll see how it goes. And, this team has been great, currently sitting at 13-4. Certainly this loss isn't going to stop them at all. We're excited to see what they do in the future. On Sunday, the South Carolina Gamecocks won their second national championship in women's basketball. One player on their roster may be somewhat familiar to Syracuse fans. Sophomore center Camila Cardoso played for the Orange last season and helped lead her team to an NCAA tourney bid in 2021. However, she left the team through the transfer portal and made her way to South Carolina. Cardoso made her presence known Sunday, finishing with 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 steal on the night. What's sweeter for her? Well, the victory came against the UConn Huskies. That ended up being the team that knocked her and the Orange out of the tourney last year, so some sweet victory there for her. Moving from women's to men's college basketball, the biggest game of the season took place last night between North Carolina Tar Heels and the Kansas Jayhawks. Starting towards the end of the first half, North Carolina getting started, and they got going early. And Coach Hubert Davis is fired up. North Carolina would end with a 15-point lead at halftime, but Kansas would not back down, coming back. 2:24 left in the game. Remy Martin with a fadeaway 3, and it goes. North Carolina is going to be coming up here now, trying to regain that lead back once again. The drive, the layup is no good, but Brady Manick finishes to give the Tar Heels the lead with under 2 to go. Kansas now with under 30 seconds. David McCormick fighting and gets the hook shot layup. The Jayhawks now up 72-69. North Carolina with a last-minute heave to tie. No good, and then Manick throws it out of bounds, and that is a big turnover. Manick obviously disappointed in himself. Jayhawks now to inbound. The ball is thrown into DeJuan Harris Jr., who actually steps out of bounds. You can see here in the replay, his left foot steps out, so North Carolina has one more chance, and their final chance to tie coming up here. Caleb Love with a contested 3, and it looks like it goes at first, but it was wide left. The Jayhawks win this one 72-69 and win their 4th national championship in school history, their first since 2008. They also set the mark for the largest comeback in championship game history with that 15-point deficit there at halftime. So definitely a big game last night. I'm sure a lot of people were watching, and it was a good one to watch.
Oh yeah, I bet that's very exciting, especially for everybody watching, like you just said. Now let's talk about those brackets. It's really exciting. Let's see those numbers. Do you have anything on that?
So the brackets, what I can tell you is, North Carolina came in as an 8th seed, and of course, Kansas came in as a 1 seed. So in the NCAA, you want to try to get the highest seed. That's the easiest path to the championship game. So give credit to where credit's due. North Carolina actually made it a very, very close game, and were able to get there as the 8th seed. So very impressive by them, but again, Kansas too strong in this final game and was able to get the victory.
Yeah, and Quest is going to be exciting tomorrow. I bet the weather's going to clear up for that, or?
That's true. Tomorrow will be very nice, nice day to get outside. If you're not going to Quest, if you are, if you're presenting tomorrow, good luck, and just be prepared for rain Thursday as well.
Well, that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Sports Talk.
And thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.
Athletics. Aaron, there were 6 big points. This is the one you've been waiting for. This group has never beaten Cortland.
Getting started with some men's soccer as the Lakers had 2 conference matchups
for half of the Lakers' goals this entire season.
Offense is key. You talked all about scoring goals.
Welcome to Understood.org, a free online resource for parents of kids with learning and attention issues, with personalized recommendations, tools, and daily access to experts to help your child thrive. Understood.org, because understanding is everything.